Welcome everyone to the Gamer Headlines show. Gamer Headlines is weekly entertainment podcast. This is episode 73. I am one of your co-hosts, Adnan Riaz, and with me, as always, is my other co-host, Chris Cortez.
Hello, hi, my name is Chris Cortez, yeah.
Hello, Chris.
Yeah, hey dude, sorry. We, welcome guys. We have a nice show today, right?
Yeah.
It's a delightful show. It's the equivalent of having, this show is the equivalent of having a nice walk through the park across the street with your lovely, friend or wife or whatever. It's gonna be nice. We have a nice little thing. But actually we're gonna make this episode a bit shorter because, kind of a hint, but Adam and I are human beings, and like sometimes life throws curveballs at us, and time is not on our side. But no, really, we kind of have to keep it short, but we really wanted to do an episode this week. So, but we do have to keep it short. But we still got some great stuff covered in this episode all the same. In fact, dude, Adnan, let's start off, man. Talk nerdy to me, man. What's been going on since last week?
I've been watching wrestling, Chris.
Wrestling with an enemy gunship.
Oh yeah, I've been fighting enemy gunship. No, I got to watch WrestleMania on the weekend.
Sweet.
On
that app, that app thing, right?
On the WWE Network, yeah. It was fucking late when I watched it. I fell asleep towards the end, but it's 5 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Not 5 o'clock. It was about 4:20 in the morning.
God damn.
So yeah, like brutally agonized. We started watching it at like 10 o'clock. That was when the pre-show started. But like watching it, like I still watch wrestling occasionally, like, and follow it as much as I can, even though I have kind of like went massively off it for like a good couple of years. But like the quality has fallen so long. Like WrestleMania used to be like a 3-hour event mainly, 3.5 hours or so. Mm-hmm. Now it's like that in total is about 6 hours long, and it was just fucking long and really like predictable and a little bit boring, and so much like shameless self promotion that it was just like, to the point where I was close to throwing myself off a cliff. But like in the whole thing though, I did enjoy watching some of it. It was a really predictable card, and like the end result wasn't as amazing as you'd expect it to be. It was kind of overshadowed by NXT TakeOver, but still, it was something fun to do over the weekend.
Nice, dude. Yeah, I'm glad I remember that app, because I remember we covered that on Talk Nerd to Me, and that's cool, man. I'm glad that you got access to that and shit. I wrestling, oh man, I mean, I like The Rock as a person. I think he's fucking awesome. And I remember there's a sweet wrestling game that Konami made in like the late 80s, early 90s, and I think I was like a really small kid, but that was badass. But no, I've never been a huge wrestling fan. Oh, dude, but that N64 wrestling game, you know which one I'm talking about. The one everyone... Well, I think it was that one. Oh my god, that game kicks so much ass. Everybody I knew, even if you didn't like wrestling, you would just play that game because it's so fucking badass. Actually, dude, fuck it. I have a quick story to tell you about wrestling that kind of connects to this. Okay, so I have a friend. His name is Ron. Super cool guy. I haven't seen him in a while though. But I met him through, we had a mutual friend, and I went over his house one day, and just to hang, because I'm like, he's like, hey man, you want to hang? We live right next to each other. I'm like, yeah, sure. So all we ended up doing was playing that wrestling game I was telling you about, the N64 one, drinking beers and just playing the wrestling game. And then he's like, oh dude, speaking of wrestling, I bought this game used at GameStop. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, it's called TNA Impact for the PlayStation 3. And I'm like, oh sweet, how is it? He's like, I don't know. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? He's like, it doesn't work. I'm like, it doesn't work? He's like, yeah. I put it into my console and it just doesn't read it. And I'm like, that's bullshit. He's like, I know. And I'm like, well, return it. Get your money back. He's like, I don't give a shit. It was only $6. It was fucking pre-owned. And I'm like, oh, well, man, $6. Like, you could be a dollar menu hero at Taco Bell. And he's like, I don't care, Chris. And so I was like, all right. And so as I was leaving, he was like, do you want it? And I'm like, your broken game? He's like, yeah, do you want it? I don't fucking want it. Maybe it'll work on yours. Maybe my system sucks ass. And I'm like, all right, you know what? Thanks, dude. Yeah, maybe I'll check it out. Took it home. I swear to God, dude, I didn't do this on purpose. I still haven't played it. I never put it in my system to check it. So it's just sitting in my like drawer with my PS3 games and shit. And I have not ever put it in to try it out. But So TNA Impact. I don't know if it's good. I don't even know if it works. Maybe I'll do it this week, and the mystery will finally be unfolded. No
Uh,
idea.
that's so funny.
Well, dude, no, with me, I got to do a couple of stuff. It's been kind of a little bit eventful. My life has been picking up a bit, so it's been nice, and I've been able to, afford a couple of things. That's been kind of cool. But, no, dude, I picked up two things. The first was I picked up, and I think I briefly mentioned this last show, but I hadn't played it yet. I bought Firewatch, on PlayStation 4. I got it for half off, so it was only like $10. And, I was kind of telling Adnan off podcast already about it, but dude, I fucking loved it. It was a really, really great game. Like I mentioned to you earlier, that E3 trailer last year is what got me into it. Like put it on my list of games to potentially play. Because I just thought, God, what a fucking great looking that ending. Like you're there, who's in your watchtower? Da-da-da. Such a Hitchcockian moment that was really cool. But the game actually is less moments there are moments like that, and the game can get spooky, but it's really a blended mix of things, man. There's a lot of really funny comedic moments that you can relate to. There's a great rapport between the main character and the person he's talking to on the radio, and it's very much a character piece the entire game. And there is those Hitchcockian moments that are really scary and kind of make you not like PT scary, but scary that you're like, oh man, that's kind of that's unnerving. But it's a great game. My only real issue, I had three issues with it. Number one, it's really short. It took me 3 or 4 days to play, and I was busy. So I'm sure if I wasn't busy, I could have beaten it in a day and a half or something. And number two, you get lost so much. At least for me, I got so fucking lost. And they have a map, and the map looks cool, in terms of graphically, but I got lost so many times, man. I had, I would be going one way, and I'm like, oh, I'm going the right way, and then I would check my map, and I'm like, no, I'm not going the right way. So I would get super lost, and that was frustrating. I think that actually extended the length of the game, because I kept getting lost. And the last thing is, without spoiling anything, I really did not like the ending. It was super lackluster. I felt like the game was building to something, and then it kind of just went splat, and it just didn't really pan out the way it should have. But overall, great game, man. I wouldn't. It's $20 normally. I gotta say, I don't think it's worth $20. I think it's easily worth $10. So maybe if there's ever a PSN sale or something like that, totally pick it up. I'd say it's at least worth $10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Good stuff. And I also, I won't get into this too much because we got to move the show along, but I also ended up being very impatient, and I did not wait for the Force Awakens Blu-ray to come out. I ended up just buying the digital copy through Amazon Instant Video, so I was able to stream it on my TV and stuff like that, because I have, on Xbox you could stream it, and PlayStation and stuff like that. And dude, it's great, man. I mean, the bonus features I think are really great. There's an awesome hour-long documentary that chronicles the making of the movie, and it's really fascinating. And I learned a lot of really cool stuff about it. The movie itself looks beautiful, sounds beautiful. I mean, it's just so fucking cool seeing the movie again. And yeah, it's actually out now. It came out today. We're recording this on a Tuesday. It came out on Blu-ray, and I think it's also a DVD. So if you guys are more of a physical media person, it's out there. I know a 3D Blu-ray version is coming out later this year, and there's a rumor that it's going to have more features like an audio commentary and the trailers and shit like that. But yeah, no, it was cool, man. I really dug it. Great bonus features, and I would say, pick it up. I think it's $20, so it's relatively affordable, and it's a fun movie too.